Hello and welcome, Pokemon fans. There are those who call me Bardbreaker, and it's time for another Sunday Pokemon Challenge run. Last week, you may recall that we were able to slither our way through Fire Red with just an Ekans, and that was actually surprisingly a quick run. So let's do one this week that I'm quite sure we can do, but might be along the same difficulty curve at times. Today we ask and answer the question, can I beat Pokemon Crystal using just a SNEASEL? This was a viewer request from Para9NX9, I hope I'm saying that right, who's been down there in the comments for a few weeks insisting on this run. SNEASEL is an Ice Dark Pokemon introduced in Generation 2. Our stat total of 430 is actually pretty good. It puts us on par with Quagsire and Pelipper, so not really that bad overall. We have really good speed and physical attack, and fairly passable special defense too. Where we're really going to get hit hard though is our special attack. It's just woefully low, and it's especially bad considering that in Generation 2, all dark and ice moves were special. So while we can learn some of those types for same type attack bonus moves, the fact that our special attack is so low means it might actually make sense to not use them. Speaking of moves, let's take a look at those right now. By level up, we start out with Scratch and Leer, with Quick Attack coming very early, but nothing really too special here. Feint Attack at level 25 is nice, and will be necessary to deal with our rival's Ghost Pokemon, but it's not going to hit for a lot given our special. Honestly, Slash that we'll get a little later will probably be the better move, plus it has an enhanced crit chance. By TM, we have a surprising amount of type coverage available to us. Headbutt, Swift, and Strength all represent solid normal type moves. Shadow Ball is an awesome physical move in Gen 2 and will almost certainly be used. Ice Punch, Blizzard, and Surf are great too, but they're all special in this gen, so we may have to experiment and see what does more based on our terrible special stats. So like always guys, at this point I'd like to remind you all that I write the script as I go, and I haven't actually started playing yet. Everyone make your guesses down below to please the almighty Algorithm, god of the YouTube algorithm, and let me know if you think I can do this or not. I definitely think we can. One benefit of Gen 2 is that the gym leaders are all so underleveled, so we can always level up past our troubles, and we're definitely going to have some along the way. We're weak to 3 of the 8 Johto gyms by type, including a double weakness at the fighting gym. Taking 4 times damage from fighting moves is going to be a hard one to deal with. The Elite Four is going to be hard too, considering Koga's bugs and Bruno's fighting Pokemon are definitely going to be problems. At least we'll be faster than them, but we may have a really hard time nonetheless. I'm also dubious if we have the moves to deal with Red, certainly not without using Double Team, but I'm going to try my darndest to not use it this run. I can't get it until Kanto anyway, so I'll at least have to do the Elite Four and Champion without it. With all that being said, let's take a final glance at our rules. I'm only allowed to use SNEASEL in battle. I will need other Pokemon for HM use outside of battle, but they won't be allowed to be used in combat. I also won't be using any items in battle. And lastly, no cheats, glitches, or exploits, so let's begin. I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Chikorita with SNEASEL so we can do the entire run with it. Our rival will now also take Cyndaquil, the hardest type for us to fight against. I nickname ours Shiva, because that's what Para wanted me to nickname it. We get sent on our obligatory package delivery simulator for the umpteenth time, but not before being assaulted by a homeless man peeing in the bushes outside of the lab. After collecting the mystery egg from the 2 totally not gay old men fawning over their long-lost lovers, we head back to Elm's lab and are accosted by the peeing homeless guy from earlier. The fight, though, is super easy. His Cyndaquil doesn't know any fire-type moves yet, and it actually misses one of its tackles. Just a 5% chance of that happening, and we scratch it down well enough. We also level up here with 69 experience. Nice. And learn Quick Attack. It's the same power as Scratch, but gets priority to move first, so it'll help. We return the egg to Professor Tree, who's never seen one before, somehow, and we're finally free to head out on our adventure. To begin that adventure, we stop and catch a Poliwag for Surf, Waterfall, and Whirlpool later, nicknaming it Aquades the 18th. Long May He Swim. A Bellsprout for Cut later, nicknaming it Snipticus the 18th. Long May She Cut, and a Spinarak for Flash later, nicknaming it Flashelius the 18th. Long May She Shine. We make our way into Violet City and head straight for the gym and take on the flying trainer Faulkner. And we're already quite a bit higher level, which I wasn't even trying to do. We've just been leveling up quite quickly along the way here. We honestly just scratch at his birds and take him down without any real trouble. We also complete the Sprout Tower and get the HM for Flash on our way out of town. We make it to Azalea Town, and after clearing out the Slowpoke well, we're clear to go on to the Bug Gym. He's really not difficult here at all despite the type advantage. Metapod and Kakuna are no threat, though the Scyther does know Fury Cutter, a super effective move that gets stronger each time it lands. We actually dip into red health, and I have to swap to a Quick Attack for the priority on Scyther, but we're able to secure the victory. At this point, I'm going to battle as many people as I can, because we can't get past the rival until we learn Feint Attack, as we can't hit his Ghost with normal moves. Yes, I could use Struggle, but that would require me to burn down 100 power points across our 4 moves to be able to use it, and I'd rather just level up. We're going to need those levels later anyway, so we might as well get them now. Once we get to level 25, it's time to take on Tim again. We have feint attack now, so it's an easy one-shot past his gas leak. From there, it's a fairly easy time dealing with the rest of his team. His Quilava knows Ember now, but our special defense is good enough, so we're able to withstand him fairly well, and eventually we clear our way through his team and progress into Goldenrod. Once we get to Goldenrod, we proceed directly into Whitney at the normal gym. Her Clefairy is out first, and we've since learned Headbutt on our way into town. We go for a Headbutt and bring it to red health as it goes for Metronome and hits Earthquake. I was expecting a lot, but you can see it only hits for about 20 damage, and that was with a crit. Another Headbutt takes it down. Miltank is next, and she goes for her signature move rollout right away as we're weak to rock. It's a sprint to the finish to see who can win. I keep going for Headbutt, hoping for a flinch to disrupt her rollout, but we don't get it. Fortunately, we're able to squeak by and knock her out before her third rollout would have certainly knocked us out had it landed. After Whitney finally calms her tits and gives us the badge, we move our way into Ekritique City and head for the Burn Tower for our next fight against Tim. And honestly, there isn't much to report here. His team goes down very quickly, only inflicting a marginal amount of damage to us in the process. After finally answering the question of who let the dogs out, we're able to fight Morty at the gym in town. So while we fight him, it's worth looking ahead a bit and seeing that from here the game opens up a bit. Unfortunately, we have some really tough gyms in our path. Jasmine the Steel Gym is always rough without fire, and Chuck at the Fighting Gym is sure to be a bitch too. We do get Shadow Ball for beating Morty though, and we'll immediately put that to use as ghost moves in Gens 1 through 3 are physical. For some reason. And to the surprise of no one, we easily defeat Morty at the Ghost Gym. We have feint attack and ghosts are weak to it, and we're also a much higher level. We'll also be getting strength soon in Olivine City, which we'll probably teach to SNEASEL as well. But since we have a lineage to continue, let's catch Eradicate for strength, nickname it Bicepticus the 18th, long may she live, and then head into Olivine. We make it to Olivine and climb the lighthouse, and because the game wasn't going on long enough, Jasmine sends us on another package delivery simulator again, so let's surf down to Cianwood to make her happy. Once we arrive there, we take some time for ourselves and go fight the Fighting Gym. It's our double weakness, so we have to be careful. But the fight here with Chuck is actually amazingly easy. We don't one-shot the Primate, but we do get a flinch and it goes down on our next attack. Poliwrath takes several headbutts, but it keeps missing Dynamic Punch, and we dispatch it without any resistance. Well, I expected that would be hard, but turned out to be super easy. Alright then. In any case, I suppose we do owe it to Jasmine to get the secret man juice she wants for Ampharos, so we go pick it up while we're down here and take it back to her. We get back to Olivine City, and fortunately Ampharos swallows. And it looks like the secret juice is working its magic, so we're able to progress. I have my doubts that we're able to complete the Steel Gym at this point in time, since Steel resists virtually everything, but we can try it. And, okay, not good. Alright, well, that didn't work. Let's go do some other stuff and come back later. On our way out of town, we finally catch a Noctowl for Fly, nicknaming it Flapsity the 18th, long may he fly, before we head to Mahogany Town to deal with the Lake of Rage and Team Rocket. While we're up here, we make a save to test out our hidden power. We get a regular result off a Noctowl, and then a not very effective result off Venonat, which by process of elimination I believe means our hidden power typing is poison. So essentially useless then? Alright. After clearing out the Lake of Rage and then the Team Rocket hideout, we decide to take care of the Ice Gym while we're here. It's a neutral matchup, and his Seal, Dugong, and Piloswine don't stand a chance against my Shadow Ball, and they all go down easy enough. At this point, we have to take on Jasmine in the Steel Gym, but we've only gone up 6 levels since our last attempt. We certainly won't be doing that much better, but we can give it a whirl. And attempt after attempt just doesn't go well at all. Iron Tail hits like a freight train, and none of our moves are really doing much to Steelix. Just for grins, I decided to try Surf and see what happens when we get to Steelix, and wow, alright, we one-shot the Steelix. Granted, it was a crit, but that means we were probably just going to two-shot it, so alright then. I didn't think we'd do that well because our special is so low, but alright, I guess Surf is going to be on here for now. I believe there's a move deleter in Blackthorn City if I really want to get rid of it, but let's see how it goes from here. And with that being said, this seems like a good time as well to call this the halfway point and take a moment to stop and thank all of you guys and gals who are watching and have helped the channel grow so quickly. We're already up over 500 subs now, and though that doesn't seem like a lot in the grand scheme, we're now officially over halfway to being able to monetize the channel, which will definitely help offset the time investment that making content actually comes with. But I do sincerely thank each and every one of you guys and gals who are subscribed, and just those who watch and who comment in the comments to help bring favor to the algorithm. I've also decided at this point to launch a Discord server. I don't know how many of you are actually going to join right away, but the link will be down in the description if you do want a place to come and hang out and chat with me and other people in our community. In any event, let's go back to the show. So we fly back to Goldenrod to deal with the Rockets and Radio Tower, and our rival Tim corners us in the basement for some fun that I'm pretty sure is illegal in more than one state. In any event, we basically one-shot our way through his entire team. Only his own SNEASEL really gets off any attacks with a quick attack, but we just mow it down with ease. We skate through the ice path without incident and make it into Blackthorn City, where we immediately head for the Dragon Master Claire. And it's a one-shot sweep with Shadow Ball. We got a crit on the Kingdra, but that means at most it would have probably just been a two-shot, and the rest of our team didn't put up any resistance either. With that, we have all 8 badges in hand and can head through Victory Road to the Elite Four. Before we can make it to the league, I do have one last Rochambeau with Tim, and it's a nearly one-shot sweep. His Magneton is a bit dicey and ends up paralyzing us, but we're able to take him and his Haunter down without too much difficulty to end the fight. Now that we've cleared Tim, it's time for the Elite Four. Take your guesses if we got this. First up is Psychic Trainer Will, and with our Shadow Ball, it's not difficult at all. In fact, only his first Xatu gets off a quick attack, but we one-shot our way through his entire team without any more damage. Koga, the Poison Specialist, is next, and he's not as easy as Will, though we ultimately prove successful against him on our first attempt. A lucky crit on the Ariados to start us off, and then we wind up confused from the Venomoth. Fortress actually proved the most challenging as expected as it resists our best moves. I ultimately got a lucky special defense drop from Shadow Ball, and then we swap to Surf, and that drop, combined with a lucky crit, gets us past his Steel Bug without too much issue, and we're able to get past the rest of his team without any incident either. Up next is Bruno, and while normally the butt of jokes and not a problem for most runs, we're dual weak to fighting, so we've got to be careful. Hitmontop is first, but always just wants to use Dig, so it's really not much of a threat. Hitmonlee is next, and goes down with Shadow Ball. Hitmonchan on the other hand is rough, and gets off a priority Mach Punch before taking hard damage from Headbutt. He goes for Mach Punch again, and we survive on a single-digit HP and take it out with Shadow Ball, but this is not looking good. Machamp is next, and if it so much as blows a gentle breeze our way, we're toast. We go to Slash for the increased crit chance, and boom, we get that lucky crit and take it out with a one-shot. Last out is his Onix, but as a 2x weak to water Pokemon, it goes down to 1 Surf. Whew, that was close. That lucky crit absolutely saved us there. Karen, the Dark Specialist, is the last member of the Elite Four and actually the most difficult. Eventually we get a run where we do get Sand Attack by the Umbreon, but we also take it out in just 2 hits. We then take the Houndoom down in a couple of Surfs, and we're alive and looking okay. Gengar is a one-shot with Shadow Ball, Vileplume goes down in 2 headbutts as it misses Stun Spore, and Murkrow goes down to a single headbutt, and that's the fight. Now that we've beaten the Elite Four, it's time for the champion Lance. Lance is a Dragon Master, so you might think I'd be tempted to use some of our ice moves, but let's see if we can do it without changing our moveset. Out first is his Gyarados, and all it does is set up a Rain Dance, which will actually help us as we take it out in 2 hits. Charizard is next, but thanks to the Rain Dance boosted Surf, we take it out in 1. Aerodactyl is out next, and also goes down to a Rain Dance boosted Surf. Next out are his 3 Dragonites, and they're tough cookies. We managed to bring down the first one after some brief back and forth before getting a lucky crit headbutt on the second, bringing it all the way down to red health. It hits back with a Fire Blast that we managed to survive quite luckily and outlasts another Dragonite that manages to paralyze us with Thunder Wave and then hit us with Hyper Beam. We fortunately hit hard enough to bring it down before we lose any time to paralysis that could have easily cost us the match. But there we go, we've beaten Pokemon Crystal with just a Sneasel. We're in the Hall of Fame with just Shiva. With that being said, we still have a trip to take through Kanto and a fight against Blue and Red. We'll skip most of the filler and be back at Viridian City. And as predicted, Kanto is full of little consequence as we arrive at Viridian City for the matchup against Blue and our final Kanto badge. Pidgeot gets off a wing attack but goes down in 2 slashes. Arcanine is next and can be a big problem. Fortunately, our Surf is doing enough to knock it into full restore range, so after a few back and forth turns of us knocking it down and Blue restoring it back up, we finally burn its last full restore and take down the Arcanine. Next out is Gyarados and hits hard with a Hyper Beam, but 2 Shadow Balls bring it down. From there, it's a pretty easy sprint to the finish. Rhydon goes down to a super effective crit Surf, Exeggutor goes down to a super effective Shadow Ball, and finally outlast is the Alakazam, which we outspeed and land a super effective Shadow Ball for the finishing blow. Now there's only 1 trainer left to fight. Let's see if we have what it takes to beat the final secret post-game boss Red. And yeah, no, that's not happening. Alright, we need to level up quite a bit here. So after making numerous attempts and numerous scouting runs, we finally make a run at level 90 that starts going pretty well. I've replaced Slash with Dynamic Punch at this point. It's only 50% accurate, but it's a 100 power fighting move that we absolutely need to deal with the Snorlax. Pikachu is out first and goes down to a Shadow Ball. Charizard is next and tanks a Surf and hits hard with a Flamethrower, then goes down on a second Surf. The dangerous Snorlax is out next and we miss our first Dynamic Punch, but fortunately it just goes for Amnesia, which allows us the chance to take it out with a second Dynamic Punch. Out next is Venusaur, and we finally get a lucky flinch on our first headbutt, followed by another to take it out before it could land Solar Beam. That was exactly why I replaced Slash and not Headbutt. Next out is Blastoise, and we take a Headbutt as it returns the favor with Surf. We get a lucky crit on our next Headbutt though to take it down. Last out is Red's Espeon, but it goes down to a single super effective Shadow Ball, and that's the game, folks. Now we've beaten Red and have officially beaten the entirety of Pokemon Crystal with just Sneasel. And we didn't even have to use Double Team once. Again, big shout out to Paraninen for suggesting the run. Hope you enjoyed it, bud, and I hope everyone else did as well. If you guys did, please hit that subscribe button to see more videos like this one. I'm not sure what my next challenge run's going to be, but feel free to leave your suggestions down below and on Twitter. And also remember to check out my new Discord server, link below. Till next time, guys, go catch 'em all.